I'm Scott Meyer, Director of Student Ministries, and I would like to welcome you to the Rockford Files, an opportunity for us to get to know our new senior pastor, Rockford Johnson, and his wife, Elizabeth. During these really weird times, this is an opportunity for us to get to know Rockford a little bit better, and I hope you'll come along for this exciting journey. Elizabeth, you're an artist, and I don't know this, so I'm going to make an assumption, but I assume that that's closely connected to your faith as well. Talk a little bit about your call to being an artist and what that means to you.
In my prayer time, I just began to sense this stirring in me of God calling me to something more. And I wasn't discontent where we were. It wasn't out of that. It was just out of the blue and unexpected, and it took some searching to discover, and it was in the area of art, which really surprised me because I can look back and see that there was creativity there before, but I was not aware. So I met a woman who was an artist and asked her if she could teach me. She said, "No, I can't put into words what I do, but here's a book." And she lent me this book called Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain, and gave me a little charcoal pencil that was about this long and said, "Here, take this, go do something with it, and then come back." That book was a springboard for me. And so over the years, what I've discovered is that God has taken that and done things with it that I would not have expected. And then in the last few years, one of the things that I've gotten involved in is something called art journaling. And it's very much about, pouring yourself onto the page. No rules, no, this has to be perfect or anything kind of standards. And what I've found is that that's a great tool to deepen and enrich prayer life. And I've done some workshops with that and helping others to see how to use that as a way to grow in their prayer life and in their studies.
So poetry is a part of the way you express your faith, and talk a little bit about poetry, what it means to you, how you got started in poetry.
When we moved to Lone Wolf and Blair, so I served 2-point charge in southwestern Oklahoma, Lone Wolf and Blair. I don't even remember what started me there, but I started writing poetry and just studying about poetry and found that I really enjoyed that. And so I kept that up for a while. In 2001, we moved to Shawnee to serve St. Paul's United Methodist Church. And in Shawnee, there was a poetry reading of Longstanding at one of the coffee shops. And I made my way there one night and with fear and trembling read, this poem to all these strangers. The guy running it, Jim Spur, now deceased, but the poet laureate of Shawnee, he was just the greatest liar. He would tell everybody that their poetry was excellent. And it was just the kind of encouragement, a novice needed. And I got into that, and eventually I was slated to be the MC, the host for that poetry reading, just as we were appointed to move to Chickasha. So I've been active in poetry readings, sometimes the featured reader, which is a nice little experience. And I've written some pieces along the way. Mainly just stuff for myself. And I think maybe some of that, composing of poetic lines finds its way into some sermons.
You gotta tell me your secret name.
My secret name? No way.
Oh, wait a minute. I think maybe that'll be a one-on-one interview just with you, Elizabeth.